question of state policy.
By other means.
Yes. By other means.
Interesting facts about famous people.
World War II movies from a German and Axis point of view. Today, we will take a walk in the shoes of those of the opposing side. That's if you're coming from the Allied side. These movies offer a rare insight into the lives of soldiers from a German and Axis point of view, a fuller historical depiction of what happened during World War II. If you like this video, hit the notification button to get my new videos. If you want to check out my many other videos, head over to my channel. The link is in the description. Let's get into it. The Captain, 2017. Released in a short studio format and the 4-hour director's cut. Robert Schwenker's Der Hoffmann, The Captain, tells the true tale of German soldiers' efforts to escape the war-torn country by impersonating a high-ranking Nazi officer. Made in black and white, the movie's composition perfectly encapsulates the cool narcissism of deserter Willi Herold, Max Harbicher, and his devilish disposition. There's entirely one scene that's coloured in the movie. This film isn't 1 hour 58 minutes long, it's 3 hours 58 minutes long. 13 minutes, 2015, not to be confused with a natural disaster film, is a compelling war drama from Oliver Hirschbiegel, the director of Downfall, telling the true story of a carpenter, George Elser, Christian Friedel, Hitler's would-be assassin. In 1939, Elsa planted a homemade bomb attempting to kill the leader of the Nazi Party. The bomb, which did kill 8 people and injured 62 others, went off after Hitler left just 13 minutes earlier. 13 Minutes explores the first unsuccessful attempt to assassinate Hitler, while 2008's historical thriller, Valkyrie, depicts the 1944 attempt by several high-ranking Nazi officers to overthrow Hitler, based on historical events, but many elements from Elsa's private life are fictitious. During the interrogation of Elsa by the German scientists, he is injected with Pervitin, which was the early version of what is known nowadays as crystal meth. Land of Mine, 2015. Inspired by real events, following the end of World War II, the once Nazi-occupied Denmark has been left with millions of undetonated shells on its shores. Predominantly young German prisoners of war are made to undertake a dangerous mission to dispose of shells left on Danish beaches, all just by hand. Land of Mine is a deeply emotional story of a group of frightened, anxious German soldiers who slowly form a bond with their Danish commander-in-chief. A film that restores a sense of humanity, soul, and relatability to a group of young men paying for the actions of their former dictator. With a budget of just $4 million, Land of Mine is a truly outstanding piece of filmmaking. Performances from its young stars are a touching tribute to those who died working on what was essentially a suicide mission. Generation War, 2013. In this World War II TV miniseries in 3 parts, 5 German friends in their early 20s, 2 soldiers, off to fight on the Eastern Front, a nurse, a singer, and a Jew, promise each other to meet up again the following Christmas. Philip Kattelbach's Generation War, aired on German television under the title Our Mothers, Our Fathers, was an attempt to humanize German history. The New York Times stated, in effect, it is a plea on behalf of Germans born in the early 1920s for inclusion in a global greatest generation, an exercise in selective memory based on the assumption that it's time to let go of the past.
Wir führen einen Krieg. Das ist doch kein Krieg. Doch, ein neuer. Wie haben Sie so lange überlebt?
Man hofft, dass es den Nebenmann erwischt.
Law, 2012. Kate Shortland's Law is a grim, slow drama about Germany at the end of World War II, following 5 destitute siblings making a 500-mile trip to their grandmother's home after their Nazi parents disappear. Along the way, 16-year-old Law, played by Saskia Rosendahl, and her siblings see a country in an almost apocalyptic state and understand that everything they were taught about the world is a lie. Despite spending time living in Berlin and directing the movie where the actors performed completely in German, director Kate Shortland doesn't speak the language. The family photographs in the wallet that Law looks at are pictures of director Kate Shortland's husband's family. The seemingly identical twins, Jürgen and Gunther, are played by actors who are not even siblings. The official entry of Australia to the Best Foreign Film Language film of the 85th Academy Awards 2013.
Mutter, Vater?
Thomas, ich bin Ihr Bruder. Wir sind von Auschwitz nach Buchenwald gebracht worden, bis wir befreit wurden.
Wenn mein Vater kommt, dann wird er es dir zeigen.
Warum magst du ihn eigentlich nicht? Thomas hat uns Essen besorgt.
Die dreckigen Juden!
Du darfst mich nicht verlassen.
The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, 2008. The Boy in Striped Pajamas delves into the uncontaminated innocence of youth in the face of dangers of wartime Germany. Asa Butterfield plays Bruno, the son of a Nazi general, a key overseer of the extermination camps. Unbeknownst to Bruno, he, along with his family, moves in alongside a concentration camp, befriending a young Jew, Shmuel Jack Scanlon, from the other side of the fence. The pair's childlike ignorance and unquestioning naivete paints a delicate yet wholesome painting on a Nazi-made canvas of death, destruction and devastation. Vera Farminger, who plays Bruno's mother, is shown wearing her wedding band on her right hand. In Germany, this is correct, and it is an excellent and accurate detail. Farminger, who was unfamiliar with the source novel, admitted that she had never cried so hard as when she read the screenplay for the first time. The Counterfeiters, 2007. Nazis infamously didn't take kindly to anyone who fit into the narrow bracket of Aryan. Smooth fraudsters were no different. In The Counterfeiters, Solomon, Karl Markowitz, a card player and heavy drinker in Nazi Germany, is placed in a concentration camp, catching the eye of the camp operators with his immense counterfeiting talents. He is upgraded, and so the journey begins that places him at the centre of one of the biggest acts of counterfeiting in history. First Austrian film to win an Academy Award for the Best Foreign Language Film category. Some experts believe the real-life counterfeit hounds were thwarted by nothing more than common courtesy. Honest Britons picked the airdropped bills off the streets and turned them over to the police, averting a financial disaster. Letters from Iwo Jima, 2006. The first installment of 2 films on the battle for the Japanese island of Iwo Jima. The other being The Flags of Our Fathers, depict opposite perspectives from both the Japanese and American sides. The story of the massively outnumbered Japanese soldiers who attempt to hold off the American bombardment as they seek to preserve their occupancy on a key stronghold. It comes as somewhat of a welcome surprise how heart-rendering, empathetic, and sensitive the film is towards the Japanese troops and the hardships they endure while trying to defend their homeland.
祖国のため、我々は最後の一兵になろうと、この島で敵を食いとどめることが責務である。生きて、再び祖国の地を踏めることなき者と覚悟せよ。行きましょう。撃て！我々の子供らが日本で一日でも長く安泰に暮らせるなら、我々がこの島を守る一日には意味があるんです。
花子、この手紙が届くことはないだろう。でも
お前と赤ん坊のことだけが気がかりだ。
家族のために死ぬまでここで戦い抜くと誓ったのに、家族がいるから死ぬことをためらう自分がいる。戦局最後の関東に直面せり、今や弾丸付き自られ。諸君らの霊に涙し黙祷を捧げる日がか。世は常に諸子の先頭にあり。
Downfall, 2004, documenting the final days of Hitler's sovereignty as the Chancellor of Nazi Germany, as the Russians close in on Berlin and Hitler's bunker. The fascist dictator becomes increasingly unhinged, losing his grip on reality, surrounded by leading Nazi officials from Himmler to Goebbels, and his lover, Eva Braun. The end is nigh for this despicable episode of villainy. The story is all told by Hitler's secretary, Traudl Jung, whose book inspired the film, and whose voice can be heard narrating the final scenes.
Unsere Idee geht zugrunde und mit ihr all das, was ich Schönes und Gutes in meinem Leben gekannt habe. Die Welt, die nach dem Nationalsozialismus kommt, ist nicht mehr wert, darin zu leben, und deshalb habe ich auch die Kinder hierher mitgenommen.
Trink, trink!
Wir müssen raus aus Berlin, Eva. Du musst ihn überzeugen. Die Lebensmittelversorgung von Berlin wird zusammenbrechen. Habt ihr denn noch immer nicht begriffen? Der Krieg ist verloren, es ist zu Ende!
Warum wollen Sie weiterleben?
Und Sie? Warum wollen Sie so unbedingt sterben?
Ich muss Ihnen sofort mein Testament diktieren.
Ich tippe gerade das Testament des Führers. Was soll denn jetzt werden mit uns?
Ich kann nicht mehr.
Es kann jeden Tag und jede Stunde mit uns zu Ende sein. Der Führer selbst hat jeden Glauben an einen glücklichen Ausgang verloren. Deine Schwester.
Versuchen Sie noch rauszukommen. Versprechen Sie es mir.
Das Volk hat dieses Schicksal selbst gewählt. Jetzt wird Ihnen eben das Hälschen durchgeschnitten.
Sie werden das saufen in Ihrem eigenen...
Morgen schon werden mich Millionen verfluchen. Aber das Schicksal wollte es nicht.
Stalingrad, 1993. The infamous Battle of Stalingrad was perhaps the most bloody battle of the Second World War, with an estimated 20,000 deaths per day. The Germans, underprepared and ill-equipped to deal with the extreme conditions on the Eastern Front, sustained massive losses via both warfare and the freezing climate. Joseph Vilsmeyer's Stalingradis, a devastating illustration of an army battalion's hellish experience of the noxious conditions in the Russian city, outnumbered by a staggering vast Soviet army and pilloried by the glacial elements. The German soldiers must fight for their survival.
Weil wenn du hier anfängst nachzudenken, bist du verrückt.
Alles ging verloren. Die Freunde, das Vertrauen, der Lebenswille.
Die Männer haben an sie geglaubt, haben für sie gekämpft.
Was wird denn jetzt mit uns?
Bis nichts mehr übrig blieb als blanke Verzweiflung.
Wir haben noch keine Chance mehr. Warum kapituliert ihr nicht?
Legt an!
Das mache ich nicht.
Ich habe keine Lust mehr zu schießen, ich war auf dich.
Im Namen des Führers.
Die Sau bringe ich um.
Das könnt ihr doch nicht machen.
Im Namen des Führers. Im Namen des Führers.
Schindler's List, 1993. Schindler's List may be an unconventional entry for this video, but one that deserves its place. Spielberg's monochromatic black and white masterpiece was a film that concluded a stellar year for the Saving Private Ryan director. Schindler's List offers an alternative view of Nazism and the immense suffering of the Jews at their hands. Unlike Son of Saul and The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, Schindler's List isn't solely about the plight of more than 6 million Jews, but about the selfless actions of an influential member of the Nazi Party, Oskar Schindler, Liam Neeson, an industrialist who uses his unique position of power as a way of helping the Jews under his tenure. This true story is a moving, profound, and beautifully poignant picture that captures the horrors of concentration camps, but also the humanity of a high-ranking Nazi. Grave of Fireflies, 1988. A heartbreaking, semi-biographical animated movie following Sita and his sister Setsuko, who are separated from their parents after an American firebomb rips through their area, killing their mother. The pair navigate themselves through troubled waters, watching over one another as they face emotionally challenging situations that test their resolve. The harrowing movie serves as a lesson in survival, compassion, and the human instinct to care, depicting the Japanese side of the war and countless casualties in an emotionally devastating way. Das Boot, 1981, arguably one of the best war films of all time. Das Boot affords the frightfully lucid experience of what it was like on board the German submarine U-96, accompanied by war correspondent Herbert Grönemeyer. The submarine's crew contend with everything from mind-numbing lengths of boredom, perilous underwater patrols that puts the lives at risk, rapidly diminishing rations that threaten to starve those on board, all while submerged below the sea surface and embroiled in warfare. For a low-budget film, Das Boot is remarkably accomplished. The authenticity of the sound effects really adds to the tension, suspense, and permanent sense of danger felt within the confines of the boat. Arguably, no film has depicted the monotony of waiting for combat, combined with the painful tension of anticipation that soldiers experience, as well as Das Boot. Cross of Iron, 1977. James Coburn stars in this screen adaptation of Arthur Willie Heinrich's novel, The Willing Flesh. Renamed Cross of Iron, the war drama follows the story of Corporal Adolf Steiner, Coburn, a well-renowned member of the German army and winner of the famous Iron Cross, leading a battalion into battle on the Eastern Front. Steiner clashes with a fellow officer, Hoffmann Stransky, as the power-hungry Prussian captain leads them into grave danger.
Here's to the last Russian bullet.
Is it a probe strike?
What are we doing here?
We are spreading the German culture throughout a desperate world.
In my mind, there is nothing more contemptible than stealing the laurels which probably belong to a man who was killed in action.
Everybody looks like someone else around here.
You were very violent.
The situation is worsening here. You're needed.
I firmly don't believe that the ideals of the German soldier, even
The German soldier no longer has any ideal.
all you are and may become is dependent upon.
Well, you want it so badly. It's just a piece of worthless metal.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check out my Facebook page. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.